welcome back to another daily reading from Convergence, the Dragon Within Saga. If you want to purchase the book after hearing my reading, which admittedly does not do the book justice at all, please look in the comments. The link for Love and Light Productions will be there, and that's where you can find my book to purchase. That and all my books, actually. So we're going to pick up, continuing in Chapter 3, and where we're at now is Roni Alden and Zendalia's mother had just awoken from a dream that she had, and while she was laying in bed, she started to feel a presence and was visited by an angel of the Lord. And she was given strict instructions that in 2 weeks she herself was going to die, but that her children couldn't. So let's dive in and see how she handles that, or handles that knowledge. Here we go. As always, her son Roni Alden was first to wake. He preferred to hunt for a few hours before his sister joined him. It was not that he did not enjoy her company, nor did he fail to appreciate her talents and contribution to the success of his task, but hunting alone always allowed him precious time to further hone his skills. But even more than that, he enjoyed the connection he felt to his surroundings when he was allowed to focus completely on his bow. There was nothing in this life that gave him solace and a reprieve from his thoughts more than when he was able to submerge himself within the slow draw, breathless pause, deep exhalation, and final release. For him, in this moment of true connection, all things faded and only one motion remained. And in each and every time he drew his bow, he would hear echo in the resulting twang his father's words, "Remember the motion." "Good morning, Roni," she said as he sat down at their breakfast table. "Good morning, Mother. I am surprised you woke before me. I am always the first one up," he said with a hint of surprise. Playfully she returned, "Can a mother not rise before her children to make them breakfast?" "Oh, I did not mean it like that, Mother. I just cannot remember the last time you were up before me," he said, smelling the freshly baked bread. "You really are very much like your father, Roni. He was always up before the rest of us, seeking the same solitude you do before the sun rises. He always used to say it was best for hunting, but I know there was a large part of him that enjoyed the solitude. I used to call him my lone wolf." "Is that why you call me the same thing?" he asked as he inhaled and smelled the sweet aroma of her cooking. Shooting him a playful glance, "If you recall correctly, I believe I'd call you my little lone wolf," placing a slight emphasis on the word little. "Yes, Mother, but I am not that little pup anymore," he said while drinking the water she had poured for him. "To me, you will always be my little lone wolf," she said with an affectionate smile. From the other room, specifically her daughter's bedroom, came a loud and whiny groan followed by some barely legible words. "Will you please be quiet? I am still trying to sleep." While Roni Alden rolled his eyes, his mother simply allowed her head to slowly descend and assumed a slight grin at the corners of her lips. As stoic as her late husband could be, he would sometimes fall into the nasally whine when things were not to his satisfaction. And while her son exhibited none of this, her daughter, Zendalia, seemed to have acquired his portion of this inheritance as well as her own. Over the last 16 years, she quite exceeded her father's ability in tone, volume, and pitch. Speaking in an elevated but affectionate tone, she responded, "We would love to, my dear Zen. However, there is a matter I need to speak to you and your brother about. A matter, I'm afraid, that cannot wait." While still exhibiting a full measure of nasality, there was the faintest hint of concern with her response. "Can it really not wait at least 10 more minutes, Drashin? I'm still sleepy." "No, Zendalia," she used her full name to impart both authority and gravity to the statement. "It cannot. Please rise and come join us." As she finished her last statement, she turned her head to her son, looking at him with a concern set in his eyes. "What do you mean, there is a matter I need to speak to you and your brother about?" he stated, clearly slighted that she mentioned it to his younger and less serious sister than first to him. "Fine," Zin said, agitated but willing to acquiesce to her mother's request. "I meant you no disrespect, Ecklerin, but I knew if it did not impress upon your sister the need to rise, she would still be sleeping, and probably would have remained so for several more hours. So it was out of necessity and not desire." "So, what is this matter you are speaking of?" he asked. "We will wait until your sister is here." Seeing the resolution in her demeanor, Roni remained silent until his sister slowly approached the breakfast table, pulled out the chair across from his, and dramatically sat down with almost an audible sigh and plop. She was 16 years old now and had not clearly understood who her father was apart from that he was, or at least used to be, hers. She would occasionally remember bits and pieces of his character, or maybe something he vaguely had done, but never could she recall a specific moment with him. Though her physical features mirrored his almost to the degree of fraternal twins, she did not share much of his stoicism. That domain rested squarely upon Rolling Alden's shoulders. And it was a difficult weight for him to bear. No doubt, what she was about to tell them would only add to it. But she could not avoid the inescapable truth she had heard from the entity, that neither could she escape her resolute dedication as a mother. She owed her children that, as well as her deceased husband. All right, we're going to stop right there. It's a good place to stop, and we're going to continue next time in 23 and dive into the conversation she has with her son and daughter. Until then, have a wonderful day, and always release your dragon within. Thank you very much.